Dad Pod?
This is a video thing as well.
Does have a name?
Podcast?
Midlife crisis.
Paddy Daddy.
Midlife crisis.
DADCAST?
That's not bad, actually, yeah.
Right. You're very welcome along. Dave's contractual obligations mean he's not allowed to be here while the Six Nations is on, so we're going to have to make do with Adrian and Nathan.
It's not as if they're in any way timely, is it? Like, you know what I mean? This could have...
Yeah, we could have got,
This could now be
lovely
February,
January day.
February 2019. Could be any time.
Yeah, sometimes the rhythm of the season beats away in the background there. You know, stuff is happening.
Well, to be fair, he was in Paris yesterday, wasn't he? So
we have stories.
Yeah, he was in Paris yesterday.
So he's hardly back.
Yeah, he's barely back.
Quinny was back.
Yeah, Quinny somehow made it
Well,
back.
he would have got the chart. He would have got the...
On board with the England plane.
Yeah, that's what would have happened.
Flight. Yeah.
For sure.
I have a slight update for everybody on my travel plans for the summer.
Oh, yes.
The second someone says I have a slight update, I assume there's another child arriving. I was going, holy shit.
No. Although I did hear somebody recently having a baby at 48 and was like, what? We're not out of the woods until then?
Or woman?
A woman. A man having a baby at whatever age, not really that big a deal, you know?
Well,
it works a bit differently there.
Geriatric pregnancy kicks in at like 35 or something, is that right?
I think it's even younger.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. All of ours were...
rename that, I would think.
All of ours were geriatric. Yeah, so, you know the way, obviously, I have a...
You're familiar. We are familiar.
You've been so set upon.
For regular listeners, this is going to be boring 2 minutes. For those of you who this is their first episode, I have the misfortune of being double booked on an important Sunday in June, where I'm supposed to be flying back from the Champions League final, but I'm also supposed to be leaving Dublin to go on our summer holidays. And it turns out my wife's family, her parents, are actually going to be in the airport that same morning. Now, their flight doesn't leave till like an hour and a half after ours. Ours is a very early flight. What do you think?
I think the great football gods are shining upon you.
Am I within my rights to go?
Are.
I'm like, look...
Sorry, wait. You're still leaving the three kids on the plane with your wife?
Yeah, but then I'll meet her on the other side.
I think in the grand scheme of things...
But when? Like, when she lands, you'll be there?
No, that afternoon.
Okay.
I think in the grand... So what's the extra help you're getting here, specifically?
Taking them through the airport.
Okay. I think that's
to get them to the queue for the plane. That's the hard part, right? The iPad each, right? Mm-hmm. For two of them.
You're going to buy an extra one.
I have to.
I think in the optics of the situation...
It's not great.
I think you've been helped immeasurably. The practicality of it, I'm not sure, is actually going to really...
But look, the practicality of it, they'll find out on the day that it works or it doesn't. But in the meantime,
if it doesn't, you can be like, I kind of thought, and then it wasn't. And like, sure, here we are now anyway.
Exactly.
All the lads.
The first week is frosty. The second week, we all recover. It's like...
Does your wife... Is she of the belief that you're going to the Champions League final to work?
I mean, certainly... No, it's just that, like, I had that time. That was a thing that I had... I'm doing this thing at that point. And we just, like, mistook our dates. You understand how that happens. Everybody gets tired. You're booking the same holiday, right? So, like, it's click Control-A, Control-C, Control-V. This is our first time to do that. Next year, we'll do that, and it'll be easy. This year was like... Last year, we tried to do this, faffed around for 4 months, and then it was too late and ended up going on holidays to Wexford. This year, we did it and just was like, after 3 weeks going, just book the fucking thing. So that was the stage we got to.
I'd still say... where is the conversation with your wife at the moment? Like, is it just something you're not bringing up and hoping that 3 weeks beforehand...
your parents are
a night and your bottle of wine gone and you're thinking...
Thursday, I'm like, I'll see you, bye. I'll see you. See you later, Michelle.
Oh, no, do you remember the thing?
When are you going?
Go on the Friday.
Okay.
Thursday,
so she'll also
Friday.
have to do all the packing, will she?
I mean, shut up, Nathan.
You can help. You can.
I'll help with the packing. I'll do some of the packing.
Yeah. I'd get the packing done and be like, look at that now. Here we are.
Yeah, and sure, look, I mean, they're much older now, so you're not bringing half the crap you would have been in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not like you having to sterilise her and all that crap.
Well, yeah, we had that last year. I'm actually not looking forward to it as much this year now because I've just realised, like, having an 18-month-year-old...
You can wander around the place.
18-month-year-old.
18-month-year-old.
You really are
extreme tiredness right now. Yeah, an 18-month-old who last year couldn't move. And this
Happy
year
days, yeah.
is-
They were the best time of your life. You don't know it now. She's like, "Ba-doing."
Yeah.
Has anybody ever in the history of the planet underpacked for holidays?
I mean, I don't think it's possible anymore. I would like to see.
Like,
I mean, I certainly have, right? I'm like, I need my swimming togs,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
but I get-
and you
I
get
get
there
it there,
like, oh
Josh.
shit, I should have.
Also,
brought
if
a
you're going to
top.
most of these places, you can buy everything else dirt cheap.
I work on that. So, because there's an awful lot, a lot of the stress is, shit, did we bring everything? But like, most things, if you have a few nappies in that are going to get you through the flight, you'd be grand, ultimately. And like snacks and food to keep them going.
So that's the thing. It's the buggies. It's such a pain in the hole to transport because you wheel it up and you
Yeah.
get it off and you forget it, and that's one part of it. And then there's everything else that goes, and there's all those other. Once that starts drifting away from your life, it's like the kids have their own backpack, which has like their stuff in it, and that's it.
We got them, you know, the little sort of tiny little suitcase things that are shaped like an animal, and they can either sit on them or pull them along.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't buy them.
Didn't work.
Well, it's just you have your child in the airport smashing into everybody's ankles, which isn't as funny after the 10th time.
Certainly not for the opposition.
No. And then
Opposition.
they either want to sit on the opposition.
They're all the opposition.
It feels
It's
that
us
way.
against them.
They either want to
Feels
sit
that
on
way.
it, or they certainly don't want to pull it. They're like, nah, you can pull this as
Yeah,
well.
no.
Why would I bother doing that?
No, the backpacks where they carry it
Yeah.
themselves, pack it themselves. You know, put their own
Full
teddies
of all
in.
their stuff.
Yeah.
There's a security issue with that then, obviously. The security queue, I mean, specifically like the arrive in, having to open the bag, rigmarole, extra rigmarole.
Yeah.
Yeah, the airport's a stressful time, Gareth.
It is. Yeah, it's a terrible shame to miss it.
I think
Hey, we're getting
good
there.
development. It can't be a bad development.
We're getting there. Right, speaking of travel, hi guys, I absolutely love the podcast, and as a newish dad, it's great to hear other dads' perspectives and advice. Recently, my wife and I have been invited to a wedding abroad. We need some advice. The wedding is in October. We're unsure what to do with our son. He'll be 15 months in October. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where kids aren't invited, and I'm part of the wedding party. We don't have any parents to take him, and all our siblings are working full-time. The wedding couple want all the wedding party, us included, to stay in the same villa and have offered for the baby to stay as well. We think our options for this holiday is either stay in the villa with the wedding party and my wife not go to the wedding day and stay in the villa with the baby for the day, or rent different accommodation with an extra room and bring my 15-year-old niece to babysit for the day. This isn't ideal, leaving a 1-year-old with a 15-year-old in a strange place, and the wedding day venue is a 20-minute drive from the nearest town. I mentioned getting a local childminder for the wedding day, but that didn't go down too well with the wife. A stranger! Any experience or advice on this would be helpful. Keep up the good work, Connor.
How many, is it, they're just one kid?
Yeah.
And so the child has been invited to the wedding.
No.
No.
Come to the place and leave the kid there.
Yeah.
How do you word that? As the
There's no
inviters?
kids. There's no kids at the wedding. We want you to come. Oh, we'll have the, you know.
But we'll make an exception because you've got a 1-year-old and you're part of the wedding party and we're sound, as opposed to wedding Nazis, which it sounds like we're dealing with here.
I mean, as part of the wedding party, you can't really tell somebody they're being a wedding Nazi, can you?
They can't tell them that, but
No.
we can say they are wedding Nazis.
They're not necessarily. So if they're saying
There's no
the
kids at
wedding
the wedding.
venue is...
Like, maybe it's a 25.
But also,
You'd
sorry.
evaluate, you take each couple on their own merits there.
No, you
Nathan.
don't. That's the one thing you definitely don't do when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
It's one in, all in.
Yeah, it's a rule.
So that person might be part of the wedding party and they're a friend. They might have like 6 brothers and sisters who have like 15 kids between them who they've already told
But they might have a
aren't
great
coming. And
support
then they
system.
rock up.
But then you can
and
say
it's
to that, but listen, you've got parents.
But they may not have
whatever.
facilities for a kid at where the wedding venue is. If it's 20 minutes away from where they're staying, they're probably thinking, well,
No,
the
it's
child...
20 minutes away. They're staying there. It's 20 minutes away from the local town. All right?
No, I think that was right.
It's away from the wedding venue where they're staying.
Stay in the villa with the baby for the day. This isn't even one strange place. The wedding day venue is a 20-minute drive from the nearest town.
So the wedding day venue, that's where they're staying.
I think you bring the 15-year-old niece.
They're definitely staying in the same place as the wedding.
I don't think so. The wedding couple want all the wedding party to stay in the same villa and have offered for the baby to stay as well. So they've obviously hired a big villa,
Yeah.
and everybody can stay there, but the
Yeah.
venue is in a different place. Sounds like.
Well, if you could stay at the venue, Then stay away
There's
from...
no clarity there. We need a bit of clarity. Because you couldn't leave them 20 minutes away. That's just a non-starter.
Why?
That's the kid.
With a 15-year-old?
You couldn't, no. You couldn't leave them 20 minutes away. So if something went wrong, you're A, hammered, and B, 20 minutes away. Well, and C, you're probably in the middle of nowhere. How the fuck are you even getting over there?
Try a taxi. There's taxis.
But taxis, 20 minutes to come out to you, 20 minutes back.
Yeah.
No, I would think you bring... If the 15-year-old is trustworthy...
I suppose the baby, at 18 months, the baby's going to wake up. You've got an 18-month-old, do you?
Yes.
And how, she doesn't make strange? Does she make strange?
No, not really, no.
Who can mind her? Would you put her in a 15-year-old's care?
Depends how desperate I was to get away from that.
I would hire somebody local. That's the correct answer here. Is
oh, no.
What?
Well, could you do both?
Keep the 15-year-old and hire somebody local?
Yeah.
Just in case 15-year-old is the local people are
Well, there might be language difficulties or...
I mean, local babysitters. A babysitter's a babysitter. Goo gaga.
I think he means more communicate with the parents rather than the child.
The 15-month-old is like, this is a load of bollocks. This person's speaking Spanish. We need a translator.
It's a fair point. What difference is having the 15-year-old going to do, you know?
I'm not sure. The 15-year-old seems just maybe borderline too young. But the local babysitter. But we are back to that conversation we were having the other week where I was like, are you okay with strangers? And you were all like, yeah, who gives a shit?
I mean, come on.
This guy's wife is like...
Yeah, but first time child, absolutely not. I had this conversation with a mate of mine, first child coming through with absolute fundamentalist about no sugar, no blah. And now it's there was a birthday at the weekend, everybody has an adult-sized slice of chocolate cake and the 3-year-old's covered in chocolate. And you're like, I mean, sorry, I failed you. But look, there's a balance to be struck. The middle child's probably going to be just about okay.
I definitely wouldn't do the leave the wife minding the baby for the day.
No, you can't do that.
Take each case and it's merged there, Bill. The wife might...
She might like that.
She might be like,
hate his mates.
This might be the greatest... This is delightful. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
Well, you could weigh that up. She may go, if we're going for 4 days and we'll have 3 days together and you go off and have a good time.
I'm going to come back to my
if there's any reluctance...
Or just bring the baby.
I think it's bad form that the couple haven't acknowledged that they don't have a support system that will allow them to both go and enjoy the day.
I think what you could do is we got let down by the babysitter on the last day.
Why don't you come for the early part?
I don't know. I think, again, there's the other side where there might well be 5 or 6 people who are in a similar position who...
I think it's wedding Nazis. And also, I think that, the whole point of a wedding, right, and I get that it's the couple's wedding, so they get to decide, but the whole point of a wedding is to go and enjoy yourself amongst the people that you know and you love and blah, blah, blah. It's not, about having...
A good Instagram.
It's an exclusion before it even begins.
I think local...
Reconsider your mates, is what I'd say to this guy.
What?
Your mate's an asshole.
It's too late.
Reconsider.
I'm sure it's the woman.
What? Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Where's that hot take?
He delete that only.
He delete that only. He can't. We have previous... What happened that day? Maybe let's not go there.
Right, so Spud on Twitter with a DM says, lads, technology solves technology problems. Smart plugs on the TV means it'll only work during set hours and it can turn off automatically. You might still get the freak out, but there's no argument about it actually going off, as it will just turn off itself. Same for iPads. Set the screen time on them. When it hits 6, it'll turn off, meaning there isn't an argument about handing it back. It just stops working. You can also get things for your Wi-Fi that does the same. Can set time for the Wi-Fi to be on or block certain devices from connecting, etc.
I keep thinking he says you can get something for your wife.
Jesus, that took a dark turn.
Is there a question?
This was advice from, we were talking about...
Yeah.
Dave was here talking about meltdowns when he limits screen time of an evening. Even though they know it's coming, there's a meltdown. I mean, look, there is always a meltdown. Just one more minute. All kids are different. This will not be everybody's experience, and your kids are older, so it'll be slightly different. But I said to the 3-year-old at the weekend, he's Paw Patrol crazy now, absolutely crazy. He keeps asking me why he chases on the case.
what's the case? And then, when the kids start asking all these questions, you're like having to try and explain to them exactly what's going on. Anyway, but I said to him...
What is the case?
I said to him, it's like... So it's a case of like, it's a situation, and then I realised he doesn't know what the situation was. Something happens, right? And then he needs to go and investigate. No, he doesn't know what that is. So you just keep working through it yourself until you land on a pile of words that actually make some sense to him. And at that point, he's actually stopped listening to you. He's just back. He's like, oh, there's Marshall. Anyway, so I said to him, he was watching a bit of Paw Patrol, and I said to him, all right, this is the last one now. Okay. And obviously, if you're not looking at him watching the TV, the last one could go on for 45 minutes. So anyway, I had a good idea it was over, so I said, okay, turn it off now. Like, you turn it off. Like that, up, got the control, hit the red button. If I went over and turned it off, he'd have lost the plot. And I don't know that... Well, I have, but I'm not for 1 second suggesting that that's going to repeat itself if I go back to it, or that it's going to last for, like, he's not going to be doing that when he's 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah, given them, but then they become remote control natties, and there's a constant war about who's
Like, they're kind of like, the two of them are like, even the 1-year-old is...
Oh, yeah.
She will turn the TV on. I don't know how she has an idea to do it.
The 18-month-year-old will... She can pick up my wife's phone, who for some reason doesn't seem to lock properly, go straight onto YouTube, Peppa Pig, thank you.
Yeah,
so like she disappears sometimes. I'm like, where the hell is she? And she's obviously spotted the phone somewhere, can slyly leave the room with it, goes into the other room and is sitting there watching it. And same thing, if the remote control's there, she'll just flick it on, go across to YouTube, on you go.
Wow.
I've had the same PIN number since, like, I first got a bank card in, like,
what were they called?
1992.
What were those ones called? Remember the Bank of Ireland?
PIN, whatever the...
cards.
Bank of Ireland, the 13, like, they give you a $5 or a $10. Maybe it was go to college anyway. And I had to change it because, like, they just watched me putting in the PIN number in my phone. It's like, oh, no, your PIN now. And everything was open for a whole week. I was like, oh, God. So eventually I had to change it. Now everything's got new PIN numbers. It's a pain in the hole.
Yeah.
But, like, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, it's the practical versus the theoretical, isn't it? Like, if you're having to change your pins, in some ways you've lost the battle already. Now, I accept that we've all lost the battle, always, so that's just a fundamental truth. But it's I'd like you to engage with the idea that you shouldn't watch any more of this. Versus, stop trying to look over my shoulder where my pin is.
Yeah, I was having that conversation about, like, sweets are full of sugar, you shouldn't really like them, they're really bad for you. And they're just looking at me going, shut the fuck up.
What's
Sugar, that really good stuff. Yeah. I get it.
Shut up.
What's a treat that we're getting a lot now? Is that he'll have it, like, generally have a digestive biscuit every night before he goes to bed. Is that a treat? Like, yeah, that's a treat. No, biscuit's not a treat. Yeah. Like, no, it's definitely a treat. Like.
Well, okay, I'll take it away from you then. Let's see how you do deprived of your treats.
I've sort of convinced myself that digestive is fine. Like,
no chocolate on it.
McIntyre he wouldn't be happy with that.
We had Kieran Donaghy in last week, and he was just talking about going training as a kid and how you get Tato and Coke afterwards, and how, like, you know, in the 80s when I would have been doing it, in the 90s, I suspect when he was stretching into it, he was like, yeah, we were kids, we had no pocket money to go and buy stuff, so this was our one access to that. I was like, yeah, that rings a bell. And so he's doing the same, like, with his kids, going, you can have a treat at the end of your sporting activity if you listen to what your coach says. Not if you show up and you do everything. You have to listen to what the coach says. So
I love that thing. That was, I remember when he was on DADCAST before, I remember that time when he was talking about that exact thing, about getting the kids to listen to what the coach says. I love that. Like,
I tried it, didn't really work for me this weekend.
Did it not?
But I have to keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, again, kids are much younger, and he's not doing it. He's going back to it now shortly, but he hasn't been doing it in a while. But when he was doing his football thing, after Kieran was in that time, so this fella my fella would go in and just sort of run around the hall. If there was something going on the opposite end, he'd be up there. And then so I was like, no, you have to, like, no, listen to what the coach is saying. But I mean, look.
Maybe you should let your child express himself.
And, like, run off up to the other end.
No. That's what makes him happy.
Yeah, but that's the wrong thing to do. They've got to learn how to be a part of a team and follow some instructions and then express themselves within the system. Because if it's just chaos, no one's going to learn anything.
Yeah.
Right?
What's Stuart Lancaster's line?
Comfortable in chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
My fella's very comfortable in chaos. He goes from the blue zone, the blue head to the red edge Very regularly.
There's a lot of redhead, yeah. Right, you have not been sleeping.
Well, that was just one night.
You're bleary-eyed.
Oh, my
He keeps
God.
talking about his 18-month-year-old.
The anger levels were... Actually, I wasn't too bad last night. My wife was... she had fully lost it. It generally flips one way or another. Where, you know...
Are you sure you want to...
Keep going.
So she woke up at 3:30. It was freezing cold last night, and her room is definitely a bit colder than all the other rooms.
This is your wife.
The baby.
Right, just to clarify.
The child. And didn't go back to sleep until 6:30. And then we were up again at 7:05.
Right.
So... Yeah, and there was a lot of "Mommy, Mommy."
Well, that's
and
fine. I love to hear that.
Then doing that thing of, has she fallen out? Has she smashed her head off something? Has she done that on purpose? She's gone quiet, and then So I was actually quite calm last night about it all.
Right.
Because it was so cold, I was feeling a bit sorry for her. So I, of course, did what any caring parent would do and brought her into the bed.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
To which...
Why would you?
To which to say my wife's anger levels rose. Now this was about half an hour, 40 minutes into it. Like, how long is this going to go on for?
Yeah.
I had assumed for some reason that the warmth
Fair
would
enough,
suddenly
Put her to sleep.
send the child to sleep. Nah. Child was like, wait a second, usually when I come into bed now, I get a bottle. So,
Where's my bottle?
where's my bottle? So we had another hour of, she's definitely not getting the bottle. And then she heard someone whispering bottle, and she's like, bottle, 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 bottle.
She heard someone whispering bottle. Who did she hear?
And by whispering, you were like...
Under the covers. Yeah.
Bottle! No!
Yeah. And
And what was wrong with it? Just...
I don't know what the fuck was wrong with it.
Who knows?
Cold.
Yeah.
Cold. But it better not be a repeat tonight.
Well, the full moon was last night, so
Yeah, that is true. Maybe that was it.
all the chaos is over for another month.
Should we touch on Phil Neville's interview? You
Yeah,
talk
go
amongst
on.
yourself there, and I'll get Phil Neville's interview. This is
I'm
glorious.
not familiar with this.
So this it's an interview in the Manchester Evening News with Phil's wife, who's called Julie. And Julie is celebrating 20 years of marriage to Manchester United legend.
She's celebrating. He's a bit miserable about it.
Well, I think we'll get to that.
All right.
She's opened up about her daily routine in a frank interview. Julie gets up at 4:45 every morning to work out in the gym. She does the cooking and cleaning around the house and says her husband has never even made her a drink. I do all the cooking at home. Phil doesn't know how to cook, but I like it. We're recently married 20 years and people ask, what is the key? We probably complement each other. We've both got very defined roles. I always want him to, fairness, we can bring this home and say,
Look at this. I'm always looking for those examples.
this is exactly the example you should give when you want to go to the Champions League final. I always want him to feel free to go off and take any jobs he wants to do, or do what he wants, go where he wants, when he wants. And he knows that I'll be at home looking after everything, whether the kids, the house, business, or whatever. I love cooking and cleaning. I love looking after the family. It's not a role because I have to do it. It's a role that I choose to do it, and I love to do it. Now, it continues like this, where basically they also have a fridge just full of drinks.
Oh, well, there's product placement. That fridge doesn't look like that normally. No chance.
It looks like Tesco, is it? Well, there's a lot of Tesco in there. There's
Yeah,
no
so-
way. There's no way the Nevilles are having that much Tesco, is there? So, yeah, she goes into a lot of detail about...
You think they're like shopping in... Where do you think they're shopping? Marks and
I'm not
Spencer?
quite sure. Anyway, so, you get the general sense of she does the housework, he does whatever the hell he wants. Takes a slightly dark turn, though. When Phil had a misjudgment, a one-time misjudgment, when he put football first on the dramatic day their daughter was born, and he went to training, leaving his wife in the delivery room. Julie ended up hemorrhaging badly, and their baby's heart stopped beating.
Oof.
I've been in the hospital quite a few weeks because my waters broke before 28 weeks. He was sleeping in a chair beside the delivery table every night and then going to training during the day. That's obviously all very good. And then on the morning she was born, it was quite obvious something bad was going wrong. I was hemorrhaging quite badly, and they were like, we need to get this baby out now. Phil said, how long do you think it'll take? I was just thinking I was going to go to training, do some stuff at work, and I'll come back later. I was in quite a bad way at this point, thinking, oh my God, I think I'm going to die. And so he said, right, I'm off to training.
Oh, my word.
Oh.
So my mum was at home looking after our 1-year-old son.
Oh.
I'm on my own in the delivery room. He'd literally gone 10 minutes and our heart stopped beating. They pressed an alarm before I knew there was 20 people in the room and I was hemorrhaging more and more. I literally remember them going, where's Philip? Somebody ring him. He needs to get here now. There were panic stations. I remember going, I need to wait. Can we just wait? As it happens, I remember him dashing in at the last minute, and they had to throw him out again because there'd been no heartbeat for 6 minutes at this stage, and they just knocked me out and bring me into emergency surgery. He looks back now and says, looking back, probably wasn't a good idea.
Nothing like a bit of self-awareness.
Jesus Christ.
Is the baby all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Seems so.
Let's not be overly fair to him, but he obviously...
Let's not be fair to him at all.
Look, that's a reasonable point. But he obviously didn't know the baby was in that much jeopardy. Like, he didn't know that when I leave...
It sounds like they said exactly the difficult scenario.
She's hemorrhaging.
I know, look at there. I'm not
We need to get this baby out of here now. How long will it take?
I'll stop talking now. There are obviously other elements to suggest that he clearly should not have left. Like...
His nearly dying wife.
Well, you would... That's very concerning for him, isn't it? Like that he didn't have the awareness to say...
There's a general lack of awareness, I would suggest, in that house. If, firstly, he's done that, and secondly, she's done an interview where she thought this was a quite harmless story of, Phil's Phil.
Yeah.
He does his thing.
Yeah.
I do my thing.
Weird. She's up at 4:45 to go to the gym. That takes some serious discipline. Woof.
I often think about it. I did for a while when I was going to the gym. They used to have a class at 6, was it? 6 or half 6 on a Wednesday morning.
There's a big difference between 6 and half 6. See, when the alarm goes off and it's 5 something, your life is shit. When the alarm goes off and it's 6, even if it's 5:59, difference of 6, it's like, I could do it.
But you can't, because you can't, and you hear of loads of people who are up at 6 all the time. You up at 6?
Yeah. It's fine.
What are you doing for an hour then?
What do you mean?
Before you know, you get in at 7.
Well, I'm in actually earlier these days, Nathan. Depending on how I cycle in now.
He waits until we're like in the middle of a DADCAST to give you a bit of feedback.
I don't think that's feedback. I think I understand what that is.
This is looking for Tommy's response.
What you call it? Well, I suppose their kids could be like 16, 17 and 18 now.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
They are. Well, I heard getting up at 4:45 to go to the gym. Who cares?
Yeah, kids are getting themselves out.
Oh, it's just getting up at 4:45. It's like...
You still have to,
but that's her own choice now. That's not like she even in any way needs to be doing that.
Got to drive from your mansion to school, though, because you live so far away.
She's got a gym in the basement. I'd say she's in the point
it's gym in the basement.
0.01%, probably.
Maybe that's it. That'd be even more difficult.
Phil Neville definitely has a gym in his gaff.
Yeah. My neighbour at our sort of neighbourhood barbecue last year.
I love when you start out stories like that. We're both looking at each other going, oh, this could be gold. This could be...
No, he goes for a run at 5:30 every morning.
Right.
And I was in the midst of a semi...
God!
No, not God. No, midst of it. Go on. Go on.
What a great turn of phrase.
Does this relate to your neighbours running on 5? What?
I've never heard somebody use that turn of phrase before. So there I was.
Midst of a semi.
Woo.
Okay, come on. What happened?
To be fair, being in the midst of a semi is exactly the reason we're outside around this table. And he put you off your stride.
I was just about to say then, if you'd let me finish, but...
If you let me finish. Woo!
A semi-fitness buzz at the time where I was like... so he's obviously... I think he just done I was doing the marathon and super fit. But he goes for a run every morning at 5:30. And I'm like, how do you get up at 5:15? He's like, you go to bed at 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every night? Yeah. So in bed asleep by 9:30 every night.
Probably feels great after the run as well.
How do you do that?
Well, you're in, we're not coming out.
You know we can't edit the video.
What?
You know we can't edit these videos.
I know that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Look, the ability to sleep would be very important. That
The ability to be that disciplined.
Even if you can just sleep when you go to bed, I like just awake a lot.
But there's stuff on.
As you mean, like looking at your phone before?
No, I've moved the phone downstairs now. I've no,
great
only the last
idea.
couple of weeks.
It's also the only, like...
I've
he
actually
has
started
kids,
reading.
Yeah. Now to be similar age to my oldest two lads, so he wouldn't have a baby.
Because it is the only time of the day that you actually have to yourself.
The evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you got up at 5:30, you'd have lots of time to yourself.
You would, yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Like going to bed at 9:30.
Yeah.
It's not as if, like, anybody ever does anything that's, like, earth-changing. You could probably go to sleep, it's early better, but I'm just saying. It's literally the only time of the day that you get to operate in your own headspace without having to... I was going to say... No. I was going to say... No, I've anybody pulling out of you, but I think in the current context...
Holy moly.
Oh, yeah.
So he was saying to me I should come for a run at 5:30 every morning, and of course I was absolutely going to change my entire life and be I'm like, wait a second. Like setting my alarm for 5:15 in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so bloody depressing.
But you would, so after the first 5 minutes of coming to terms with that, you'd feel, and I'm not saying this from any experience, but you feel so much better after it.
Well, after a period of time. Like, so we're doing Swim for a Mile, getting people to go out and swim a mile. You can sign up at Swim for a Mile. How much better do you feel since having started this?
My recollections of running, now to be fair, this was like 20 years ago, when I would get up of a school morning and myself and my sister would go out for like a 3 or 4 mile run or whatever, you would feel so much better for the rest of the day.
What time, like at
Before school, like out in the frosty mornings.
literally...
Beautiful.
For what reason?
Well, I used to do a bit of cross-country running or whatever, so...
competitive?
Keep up fitness. It was like, and I was playing football and, yeah, it's just school and stuff like that.
How long would that take? Like
It'd go for about 40
time is
minutes.
your alarm
40
gone?
minutes. Jesus, I don't know, that's a long time ago now. It wouldn't have been that early. It probably would have been like 7, I suppose.
Right.
But as a kid, obviously, 7 o'clock is...
Crack it on.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But you would feel the benefit of it for the rest of the day. And it feels different. Swimming feels different to that.
Yeah,
Like, it's
because
a
when I was
different
doing
level.
when we were doing the 5K last year and I ended up running sort of 3-4 times a week, I definitely felt afterwards, yes. Like half an hour later, you'd be going, oh my God, that was well worth it. And you're buzzing for a good chunk of the day. Swimming is just way more, you're shattered.
Well, we're only 3 weeks into it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I expect there to be like a tipping point where it all becomes easy. I'm not at that point just yet.
I think we'll keep pushing it. Like, we're at the level that we're going to... The improvement has to continue, but we've probably been on a fairly stark trajectory up to now, and it'll start to level off, but it'll still be up all the way till we get to the end. Like, we're not going to taper at any point, or we're not going to say, right, this is now our training regime, we'll do that for a month. Like, it should constantly be challenging up to the point where you actually go and do the mile, and then you won't swim ever again afterwards.
So, when do you feel better?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, we're not going to get to a point where we're going to do...
The dividend, where, like, your base level of fitness has gone from 0
Definitely.
to base camp, and that base camp, like, I think actually, I don't know, it depends on how everybody decides if they want to keep pushing themselves for a time.
Yeah.
I'd say 9 weeks in, with 3 weeks to go, you've done, like, so we're 3 weeks in, if we improve in the next 3 weeks, the same way we've improved, and do that again, that's twice the level of improvement that we've had. There'll be a base level of fitness at that point where you'll be able to swim for a mile at whatever pace you want. Those last 3 weeks, I'm not going to fucking kill myself to...
Well, the Everest analogy is probably a bad one, because you'd keep going up a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Or you get to base camp and you go, hi, base camp. I mean, look at all the... look, it's very busy up there. Too busy for me.
Maybe.
But, I don't know.
Like, what I'm saying is you constantly push yourself out of the comfort zone in training, so you're going to feel a bit shit after. Like, you're not going to feel... You shouldn't feel comfortable after, really, with the distance we're doing and the time frame we have. You shouldn't feel like, I'm well capable of doing this now, that's great, because we need to be constantly pushing ourselves a bit.
But is that not how all fitness works? Is there not like a...
Well, no, I think you get to... I think if you're doing it over a long period of time...
What are the dividends? When do the dividends come from?
I think... Well, what do you mean dividends? I think you're constantly getting
Surge in energy.
a dividend.
When am I going to have lost 3 stone?
Where's my six-pack? Where's my fucking six-pack?
No, there must be, because, right, Jesus, I'm going back to like running 5K, which is nothing, obviously. But you do about a month in, suddenly that first 500 metres, by the end you're like, as your heart rate is just flown up, that becomes a little bit easier, and I'd imagine that'll be the case here.
Yeah.
It's slightly different though, because a lot of it's like technique and...
I went swimming on Friday and did half the distance, and kind of killed me all weekend.
You did it...
32. Well, I was stopping, like, but I didn't stop I didn't get out of the pool, I didn't go and sit in the steam room. I did it with a few kind of, stop 15 seconds, stop 20 seconds.
Not bad.
Took it out of me, definitely.
Yeah, that's great though. That's exactly what you need. Like,
I don't know. I think it might have been too much too soon.
Maybe.
It's like a... Oh God.
But you'll nail it now when you're in the pool today, and everybody else will
broke my spirit. Or else the pain that I feel in my shoulder is now going to become worse and worse.
My experience of the last match, you do get your spirit broken, and then you feel far better for having your spirit broken when things pick up for you.
The distance is actually, it's essentially 700, close enough to 750 metres. So it's now the swim of the triathlon. I would feel like I could do that. Obviously, I was flipping over to do backstroke a little bit during it as well, but...
yeah, that 750 metre swim for the triathlon. Piss easy, wasn't it?
Well, it feels totally doable now, doesn't it?
Ah, yeah, sure. In the sea, though, Jared.
In retrospect,
in the cold.
In retrospect, when you think about it, it was like a 20k cycle. Like, I should probably actually be able to do a 20k cycle with no training.
Yeah.
The 5k run.
You really should.
That hill, though, to start with, you know.
Yeah. Right. Is there anything else?
Went downhill rapidly there.
It sure did.
I've had some pretty amazing experience of coaching recently. Our youngest trying to get him to do GAA in Vincent's. 2 separate people came over and convinced him to join in, just like at the periphery, and like they're completely volunteers, right? And it was the same in gymnastics as well. He just won't do it,
right?
And then he gets to the edge, and then he gets sucked into it, and next thing he's running around doing the stuff,
right.
And it's like this transformative, and that's just because they know how to speak. I'm like, why can't I speak? Why don't I have this
Could you
power
come out to my house at dinner time every evening?
Yeah. Just make him eat this stuff. Which is amazing when you think about it. Like these facilities are on your doorstep, and
I thought you were going to say that you'd got into coaching. You'd been...
Not yet, no.
You will, though.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as like we can work out exactly whether or not they'll all do it. If they'll all do it every week, and you're happy that you can leave 2 of them here and another one of them here.
Oh, because if one was to say, we don't want to do it, and feel like coach hasn't turned up because...
Yeah, you're blinding them and sideline. It's like, so. Are you coaching soccer?
No, GAA. Hurling.
Great.
I think everyone's agreed. Maybe it's best if I move back to the football.
Oh, really?
I'm like, so right hand on top. I don't know. I just do the games, throw it in there and let them at it. But, you know. Now, it is like the value of a good coach. I see that with my eldest lad who's no great interest in it, playing soccer. And the coach up there is just unbelievable. Like, everything he says is positive all the time.
Yeah.
And he comes off buzzing. Like, even whether he's played well or not, he thinks he's played unbelievable. Yeah. And from a year ago having no interest.
That's what you want, isn't it?
To now, you know, when's it on?
There's a few hard lessons, though, but like, listen, you're not up to it. You'll never make it at this grade.
Yeah. It is insane. We should do an episode, but we need to be careful about it, though. On underage, like kids getting into sport and some of the insanity for 7 and 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
too aggressive.
Yeah, no, the clubs my kids are in seem grand, but the stuff you hear from other clubs and like the amount of like splitting kids at 7 and 8 into the elite level, and basically if you're not in the elite level, we don't want you.
Yeah. That really turns me off elite sport. I don't really want my kids to be exposed to that at any point, because it all becomes corrupted by the ego of coaches and then by the ego of the teenagers who are trying to make it to do this thing which is like almost impossible. Whereas actually what I want for them is in their 20s to be playing casual pickup games of football or going to the gym or doing running and swimming. Like, I just want them to be active all their lives so that they have a healthy outlook on...
The experience is less the sort of either Katie Taylor or like Ciara McGean, that sort of still grounded haven't lost the run of themselves, high achiever thing. That would be lovely. But the experience is obviously largely kind of different from that, like entitled, etc., etc., etc. Is that your point?
It's more that the pressures involved in reaching that. Like, I don't know if the sacrifices that are made are, for those individuals, it clearly has been worth it. But, like, think about all of the stuff that had to happen to get them to that point. And you're like, I just want them to still enjoy participating in sport at a community level. That's all I really want. Like, I don't want them to play for Dublin, really. I'm not.
But you never hear clubs talk about that. Like, clubs, when they're bringing players in, they'll obviously have the pictures of the players who play for Dublin and who've been successful. They don't go, and by the way, out of our 2001 academy, 17 of them are still playing on the minor team, or 14 are still playing senior football, which is what the success of a club should be.
Or from that 2001 academy, everybody still comes to the club either as they're still fully paid up members because they're involved in committees or, like, other aspects of the club that we value as much as the senior team winning the championship this year. Like, and look, I'm sure loads of clubs do that, right? And actually, there's a great community vibe to the clubs that my kids are going to. It's just, I don't really like that splitting them in those other clubs that you're talking about. That sounds like a disaster.
Yeah, but like, it's so difficult to get volunteers for an awful lot of clubs, I'd imagine, that those who do, if they have that sort of ego, are sort of given control, and clubs are quite happy that somebody's come in and taken over.
Maybe.
The amount of different stories I've heard already of 7, 8-year-olds been told by either soccer or GEA that they can't play the other one. This goes against every piece of research that kids should play a variety of sports.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Right, we'll go back to that. Is there anything else?
No, I've come back. My son is now. Remember my easiness with his swearing? We've talked about before. He's like a sailor now.
Right.
And in company, at home in the house, we've had to start to address it.
Yeah.
That little fucker's going to get involved.
Fucking hell, fuck that. Like,
really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Even the use of fuck at times in sentences that... Well, one very brief one. My mother-in-law was bringing him to school last week, and they were walking through Stillorgan Shopping Centre, and obviously a bit of traffic around, whatever, and so he was just tipping along on his little bike, and he goes, a car horn goes, and he goes, fucking hell. And she went, sorry? Fucking hell, Dada says that when a car beeps. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes. Yes.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking? So...
You're like, for fuck's sake,
yeah, exactly, yeah. No, but he says it all the time now about everything.
Jesus.
It's like, I'm sure he's saying it at school. Fucking hell, fuck that, fuck this. Honestly, it's...
Sorry, I heard a great story. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, right? Where it must be in primary school. The parents got called in because teacher at the board had her arse smacked by the child.
Whoa.
She was at the board and he ran up and went and ran back down.
Okay,
and she just caught him.
I know.
She just turned around and caught him and was like, and so apparently it's not the done thing to smack your teacher in the hole.
Wow.
And the parents, when they went in, were like, how do we, like, not laugh?
Yeah. And also, where do you pick this up? What's the...
Right.
What's the equivalent of Dad saying fucking hell at the beeping cars?
On that note, dadcast@offtheball.com is our email address. You can also follow us on Twitter @dadcastpod. Is that it? Is that the Twitter handle?
Is it?
One of you guys has the sole account of the Twitter account. And keep your correspondence coming.
Yeah, DADCAST
Remember to rate us on iTunes and leave a comment. We'll get back to those comments next week. If there's any reviews that you want to leave us, we'll deal with them. In the meantime, take care, happy parenting, good luck.
Dadpod.
Just a video thing as well.
Does have a name?
Podcast.
Midlife crisis.
Paddy Daddy.
Dadpod.
Just a video thing as well.
Does have a name?
Podcast.
Midlife crisis.
Paddy Daddy.
Midlife crisis.
Dadcast.
That's not bad, actually. Yeah.